This is I mean, this feels like it's always going to be a case whenever we have a European team, you know, your MV Fnatic going up against North America, they can almost guarantee if they want Mirage, they're going to get it. Like it's something that seems in North America, it's like Cash, Mirage. Europe can prepare for North America so damn easily, wouldn't you say, Blue?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And for some reason, Liquid, they actually play this to a certain degree quite a bit, but I've just never really seen any good progress. This is another map that can be that can have a lot of op presence, especially in towards the middle area. And again, Liquid just does not really have anybody that's capable of picking up the op and playing very strongly with it. To be honest, Nitro picked it up quite a few times back on Cash, and he was looking a lot better than Adren in many of the rounds that he was playing with it. So that's something that's probably going to end up happening quite a few times on this map. And with it constantly being switched in terms of the role that it's playing, that's just not going to work for a team like Liquid.
It's like you're looking at a toolbox, right? And Mirage in particular seems like a map where, yes, like you can be very effective with aggressive plays with rifles on the extremities. That's always something that, you know, we praise Fnatic for, old LGB. I mean, obviously this is like ancient history now, but still these were teams that were really effective with pushing around. Now, however, like it seems like all the top teams on this map have at least one impact opper, like the Guardian, the Kenny, you know, just like the Kerrigan for TSM or TQM, questionable, whatever. You know, it's just like they always have that one opper that really allows them to, they don't have to make him the center of it all, but it's just another play that they can go to where you can count on him getting like that one frag and backing off. You control a little bit mid, challenge mid, or he goes into the apartments, he goes elsewhere. But to have that one click moment where it's like, okay, there we go, we got our frag, you really do need that. And so for me, like the guy I think who usually stands out is Hiko on this, but you can't do everything yourself. You can't always be Nitro.
Isn't it the question now, though, that is it going to be the same story for North America where you get really close on the map that you want to play? You know, we saw it with CLG or Mirage before. You get really close on the map that you're good at and you know you need to pick up that win. We go into the second and we're not going to, like, Liquid are going to be absent now. Is that your thoughts, Robin?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a landslide here for Fnatic. It feels like for the North Americans that you just like basically hoping that they will win their map and then just don't really care about your opponent's map pick and then just try to get the third map win, right?
Right.
Where in reality, it's like, well, you veto the map you don't want to play. For Liquid, you know, you saw yesterday, they're not that great on Inferno. You have to veto that against Fnatic. In reality, maybe against, let's say, a team like Cloud9, they don't play Inferno either, so then it's a free veto, right? They're like, oh, okay, we can actually veto something else. Right. Let's veto the map that we really can't play. Because most of the time, the Americans, they tend to be good like 2 or 3 maps, but in reality, you only get one.
The last point to be made.
Absolutely, yeah.
That, you know, Fnatic, this isn't like a super strong map for Fnatic either right now. They still have to iron stuff out since the roster change. They haven't been looking as dominant on it as they have in the past. So I just think that right now, like the mental game for Liquid, where they have to now get back into it on their opponent's map after coming close to winning the first map, they could have done it. I think there's too much stuff stacked up against Liquid for them to be able to take advantage of some of the weaknesses that Fnatic have shown on this map right now. Because I don't think that, say, Fnatic versus a questionable or a Na'Vi even would win. But versus a Liquid, I think that it should go Fnatic's way.
Yeah, and I mean, you kind of hinted at predictions. We're going to just round out those predictions after a little bit of a few words from Fnatic as they spoke to us a little earlier on in the week.
My name is Robin Flasha Rönnqvist and I play for Team Fnatic. I expect us to at least win the first match pretty easily, like it's against Conquest and we don't see them as a strong opponent. I don't expect much out of the American teams, to be honest. We're a new team, we do a lot of mistakes still, and we haven't had a lot of time to improve on anything special before this event. We just keep trying to improve after every match. We see our mistakes, what we're good at, what we're bad at, so we just keep improving.
They're a new team and they're still making a lot of mistakes, but it does seem like Fnatic are still capable of making this look rather easy going into the second map. That's what you guys hinted at. It is time for predictions, though, once again. Is it going to be the same as before, guys? You doubted Liquid on Cash. You needed something to be proven to you, right? You needed to see, like, okay, Liquid, you know, we're doubting you. Show us what you got on Cash and maybe we'll change our mind. However, they trip and stumble. Is it all Fnatic for you guys, Blue?
Yeah, Fnatic, 100%, no question.
Yeah, zero question.
It's almost like the upset of the century if Liquid beat Fnatic. The only teams that I see Fnatic losing to are Europeans right now, so
Fnatic. Of course, if they do win this one, they'll go up against Envy. We get a rematch. And a battle for like.
Sorry, they do.
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah. Okay. So we would have that rematch, which would be quite a nice one. The Swedes versus the French again, considering how well Envy played the first time they met just yesterday.
Oh, that would be in the final if they end up winning versus XTSM.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
exactly.
Some
That's gonna
final
be...
will play versus XTSM if Fnatic ends up winning.
Yeah, that's right. That's why I was like, okay, we skipped a step. I still think that might be the final, but okay. Best of 5 between Envy and Fnatic. Oh. Okay, never mind.
Go.
No, you're getting giddy over there.
I think Fnatic will cream Liquid.
Oh, that's a beautiful way to hand it over. Okay, guys, we're expecting Fnatic to pick this one up. No surprises there. I also need to let you guys know that the tickets are now on sale for ESL One Cologne 2016. You were there, August. That crowd was absolutely insane. And, of course, we are hoping to have an equally similar turnout for it in 2016. So you guys can go check that one out while our casters try and giggle this one off, as it's, of course, your creamy caster Moses and Mega Man.
Thank you so much, Alex. We're actually chuckling because we were reading some of the in-game feed right there, and JW actually said that Creamy was the worst nickname ever. So, throwing it back in his face a little bit more right there. How's that make you feel, Moses? Tell me about
we're
your
going to have
emotions.
words later. We're going to have words with JW. And Fifth Laren, for that matter.
Yeah, there you go. All right, well, moving forward, Mirage, it's been unanimous across the analyst desk that Liquid pretty much doesn't have much of a chance in this one. We kind of felt that way already. We figured this would have to go into 3 maps if Liquid was going to have an opportunity to take this one. Mirage, though, Fnatic.
Here's the thing. We saw yesterday against Conquest the disparity between Team Liquid's strong favorite, the maps they want to play, which is Cache and Overpass, and the maps that they aren't very strong. Like that, the disparity is just so incredible. And this is a map that you just don't mess with Fnatic on as a North American team. You know, you're gonna get stuck on it once in a while just because you have to ban you don't have the amount of bans that you need. But I mean, Team Liquid, I don't really see them having any kind of a chance.
And we're going to see this one full force right here, right now into the knife round. JW actually going for that cheeky flank in the top side of mid, but
here's the other thing to mention, because with Team Liquid, you know, they have that tough time handling AWPs. That, I mean, this map, if you can't handle an AWP, if you don't have an AWPer of your own, you're just in for a really long match. And you know, Liquid here is going to win the knife round again, unless there's something insane that happens, because Olaf hasn't been touched yet, and this would I mean, jeez, if he wins this one, just gets us started right here.
well, everybody's one hit away from dying on the Liquid side. See what happens. He's putting himself into a position here in the knife round where he can try to isolate 1v1s against these guys. It's very strategic here, 1v4. And we wait. Oh my god. And that's Hiko shooting Olafmeister, the old bird there. And
Just having a little bit of fun.
well, they've got 59 minutes to figure out what they want to do here. Creamy Meister, there you go. You guys can't see the chat, but I'm just going to go ahead and throw that one out there as well.
They should do a run boost and just like launch Hiko at him. Just like a knife cannon. This has gotten a little bit ridiculous at this point, boys.
All right, come on.
This is like every player just getting the casters back for on the analyst desk, like having so much banter and just.
I didn't split the difference and went through the middle of them. No, all right. Well, Liquid, they're 2-0 in knife rounds, but so far they're 0-2 in pistol rounds. So we'll see if they can pick it up here on the CT side of DE Mirage. What do you think, Moses? What do you think is going to be the key to Liquid being successful on this map? Elige under Porch playing in the A-bomb site. Do you think it's going to be?
It's gonna. I mean, it's gonna come down to mid control, which without an AWP ever, like even if you have one, it's almost like, are you going to be able to rely on that to be effective? Like
Could you fancy Nitro picking up the AWP here on CT side?
No, I wouldn't want him to. He has done it in the past. He is kind of their secondary AWPer. There is that, you know, that controversial, you know, interview where James said that they would make Nitro into one of the top AWPers in North America, which is like, come on now, let's not get insane, let's not get crazy. But either way, Fnatic very quickly just gonna head over towards this B bomb site. A mid push from 2 members of Team Liquid, and actually Fnatic, they decide to drop into these underhauls, and they're just going to push forward. 2 kills for Liquid come out, but Dennis trying to equalize things, finds a Dren, so it's down to a 3-on-4.
Yeah, but a nice start there to the round for Liquid. They've got Hiko down at 9 HP, though, so this is going to be a little bit of a difficulty for them moving on forward, but the nades come out and towards the upper side of that B halls, and they found a little bit of damage there on the JW. It's going to be on Nitro, but he can't lock it down. Now they've got another player over here. It's going to be Hiko, but again, he's 1 tap away from losing his life. He pushes forward, but Dennis takes him down. It's now Elige and Fugly. And we talked about Fugly with his pistol work in the past. He hasn't been able to shine We'll see whether or not he can bring this one back this round, but this is going to be a very difficult retake here for the CT side of Liquid because they've given so much time, and JW and Crims not having any of it. 0-3 now, Liquid are in pistol rounds, and in the last 2 matches, they're now 1-8 in pistol rounds. That is a stark statistic for them.
Not too shabby. Not too shabby. That round, I mean, they started out good with that mid push. They gained mid control. They get a kill, and they actually up a man. Just later on in the round, it just kind of falls apart. That mid control, you know, didn't really have an impact later on. Fnatic with a good call to just hit the B bomb site from there. I mean, that's the thing. It was a 4-on-3, and nobody else died from the Fnatic side. So now already 1 kill on the Fugly, who's at the top of A ramp. There's a double scout set up from Adren and Elige, and Elige does find a nice headshot. He's brought down to 2 HP though.
Yeah, but the big thing is that he was able to do a little bit of damage. Ooh, that fire isn't going to spread enough. Elige, he's just tucked back in there, but Dennis is just going to take the forward fight and shuts him down anyway. They knew that they had him locked down and isolated in that corner. No chance for recovery from him. 2 HP. I'm surprised that Molotov didn't spread, but Flusha with the UMP is going to find one more. They've got to deal with Nitro. He's going to come around the corner, and Dennis is going to be there with the P90. Now it's going to be on Adren, and he can't line it up. JW takes him down, and now he's gone back to the J Wonderchild nomenclature that we know him so familiar under.
Yeah, big investment though for Liquid that round. Upgraded pistols, 2 scouts, and only get 1 kill. Not really enough damage is dealt there. So Fnatic up to a strong lead, starting to build up that bank. In fact, Flusha, he's just keeping the 5-7. So we'll see what he has to do with that. Olaf has that UMP if he wants to build up some money. Dennis with the P90 still, and Olaf's just going to get mad aggressive. I mean, there's a nice 4-man stack here from Liquid. They're going to push forward onto him, but he's winning those duels initially long range. Nitro eventually cleans him out, but meanwhile, they've given up the B bomb site. So all they have to work with is a UMP moving forward.
Yeah, and they actually smoked off the top side of Cat, so the chance of a return here from the CT side is going to be very limited. They're going to spam the smoke, but Crims going to take down Nitro. And now they're going to go for the boost play over the top. We see CLG doing this a lot of times with Tarek, but look at this. They're actually going to go for the reverse boost over the boost. And now look for a knife kill. JW actually drops down, spams him through the smoke, finishes it off. But that was actually kind of funny there. They went for the boost on the T side up on top of double stack boxes on Catwalk, and then the CTs opted to go for their own little cheeky boost. But unfortunately, JW was already up on top. And he lines him up, takes him down. Fnatic up 3-0. We're coming into our first rifle round. No ops on the board here for the CT side, but a double op setup for the terrorist side. They're going all in.
Yeah, that's very aggressive with these AWPs. Flusha's going to take his over towards the A halls, and Olaf, he has his towards mid. But look at this aggression now from Team Liquid pushing down ramp. Dennis is going to get that first one. That's a P90 that he grabs that kill with. So it's down to a 4-on-4. That push is forced back towards the site, so Fugly's still going to be playing behind the smoke. Flusha hasn't been able to get too aggressive, and Crims is just trying to see if he can get any kind of a lucky shot. Olaf still making up middle, being very, very patient, just holding an angle, waiting to see if anyone is going to push Catwalk, but it's going to be a Dren in window room, and he's in a tough spot. No more nades at all on the Liquid side except for Fugly's 2 flashes, and he's stuck inside window. He can't get out at the moment.
Yeah, the other big thing to note was that Hiko is actually solo B right now, and he's dealt with JW, but that bomb is working its way up through the halls. Olafmeister with an uncharacteristic whiff there onto Adren, trying to get his way out of the window room, and he actually does manage to do so. So he's going to be looking to fall back and maybe join up with Hiko in the B bomb site. That's exactly where he's going to be going through market right now, looking for some more action. That bomb has been dropped in the B halls. 39 seconds left on the clock, and there's still not really a whole lot of progress being made thus far for Fnatic's side. See where they decide to go. It looks like it is going to be towards the B bomb site.
They might just, it almost looks like they might just save this almost, just because of how much time Olaf with 4 HP, he can't be the one to really get into any kind of a fight. He's going to go where that up. It's flush up. Catwalk, who initially gets it. There's a Dren to drop him. Olaf does trade it off, and all of a sudden they're into a 2-on-2.
Yeah, nice trades. I mean, something that Fnatic excels at across the board is just getting those return kills like that. And Flusha, they just peek out into his op. They didn't realize that they had the double op set up until that moment right then. And that was right the moment where they realized that they had messed up. Here comes the push.
Yeah, this is really tough. Liquid gets that kill. Nice trade from Nitro, though. Finds the headshot onto Crims. So they do make it work, even without a kit. So you're going to be able to get this and salvage an AWP for the next round. They'll be able to put that into a Dren's hands. Still plenty of money, despite investing a lot in a double op setup on the Fnatic side, and Olaf and Flusha. I mean, you look at Crims has about 6K, Dennis has 6K. I mean, they're all up now around 8K after the money comes in. So plenty of money to drop some weapons over to Olaf and Flusha, who are low in economy, and Fnatic's going to get one more buy round. And Liquid now, the tough part, losing 4 players and winning that round, everything's going to be a little dodgy. They're going to be a little bit light on utility here and there. Dren does have the AWP that was dropped over to him, but, you know, he goes on a Famas. They only have 2 kits to work with. You know, they only have 3 smokes. Oh, that's going to help out, though. A nice find for Dren. Almost gets a second.
Yeah, but Elise is going to be there to clean up Flusha as well. Now they realize that it's going to be a push onto the A bomb site, so all of those players pushed up in mid are going to fall back towards Connector, and it's going to fall on a Dren here to try to get these opening picks. They're going to smoke him off, though. He's not really going to have a good line of sight in towards this palace side. Actually, they smoked the stairs, so he can still see these crossing players. And Olafmeister, pardon me, Dennis, their names look so familiar on the screen, but it's going to be Dennis to try to take that battle, but a good early 2 opening frags here for Liquid. They're going to be searching for some more. Dennis trying to get his way into the site. Krems is going to be able to find Fugly. The pop flash over the top. JW trying to make something happen, and he's going to do that. And as he does that, Krems finds another one, and all of a sudden we're down to a 2v2. Dennis with another, and it's all on Hiko in a 1v2 against him and against Dennis and JW. The bomb is going to get planted here. Let's see if he can clutch this one out. He's been so good in the past in these situations, but this is just a really, really tough spot for these 2 terrorists to be in, and JW finishes it off. Look at frustration there on Hiko's face as that round goes the way of Fnatic.
Yeah, it's got to be incredibly frustrating. That's a nice initial shot. I mean, the advantage they have in a 5-on-3. Smart play by Fnatic to get up, but Krems just does some work, and JW bides his time until it's the right moment to pounce, and it works perfectly. But with that kind of an advantage that Team Liquid had, you can't drop those rounds. Smart play from Fnatic to just get their way up into A because they know there's a lot of mid-pressure, but so good at forcing Liquid into committing to these fights and these peaks, and Krems punishes both of them for it. And now it's back onto the save for Team Liquid. Once again on their CT side, not able to string 2 rounds together. Fugly takes some shots over at Flusha, but he's not going to win that battle. Elige also falls. And Fnatic complete control of this round of this anti-eco.
It's just a little all over the place right now for them. Dren actually, even insult to injury, gets spammed up through the wall there at the top side of Connector, so he's going to go down, and now it's Hiko to try to make a play. Don't think he actually spotted that player on Catwalk. That's going to be Dennis trying to get himself out of dodge here. So USP is going to be trying to find some damage onto him. Hiko popping some shots. He's not going to connect with any of those. And now he does. Takes him down. Swift headshots there from the silent USB. Now he's trying to get himself away. AWP comes into play, but JW is going to be there to clean that one up. The last man standing is going to be Nitro. He goes down to Flusha's MP7. 2 frags on the round for Flusha and a salvaged AK, so he's putting a little bit of money in the bank as well. And you can see JW is actually over 9K. He's 9-1, and Dennis is at 8-2. So 2 of the players that have, you know, I want to say they've struggled a little bit as this weekend has come to fruition, starting to really step their game up here on Mirage.
Yeah, it was the harshest of all resets, though. Go down to just 1 player and then get reset. This is a double save for Team Liquid. They couldn't even afford to buy if they wanted to there. They might have had, you know, Famuses with very light armor, just not enough arsenal this early on. You got to slow down Fnatic in your next buy round, or else you're in a lot of trouble for this half. It could just snowball out of control completely. But look at this setup. 4 members of Team Liquid over towards the A bomb site. There's 2 flashbangs. Nitro and Elige both have one, so if they're able, and if Elige is able to pop flash into A main, they could find an opportunity.
JW, this is going to be a good Molotov. Elige is down there around the corner. That's going to flush him out, but they take the peek. Fugly is going to go for it, and Elige comes in for the answer, but it's Krems to shut him down as well. It's a 2-for-1 trade. Make that a 3-for-1 now as Olafmeister chimes in on a Nitro. The last 2 both tucked away underneath of the balcony. We'll be looking for more. Dennis is going to find one. Krems finds the other, and that's going to be that 6-1 scoreline. And Fnatic, they're off and rolling 6 rounds already on their T side of Mirage.
Yeah, this could start getting ugly. Adren has the AWP, though, this round. Last time it helped them out when they wanted to do some kind of mid-pressure. Are they going to go back to it?
Yeah, we saw that early little glimmer of hope, at least. I mean, they went for that mid-push and actually did relatively well with it as they were able to pick up a couple of kills out of that. So this time around, we're going to be seeing a little bit more of a passive setup on the CT side. As you can see, it's going to be Hiko and Nitro, but Adren opened things up. This time he's playing back on Connector. It's going to be Elige to find Olafmeister. This is looking good. Elige finds a second one. That's Krems down and out. There's a nice pop flash, and Fugly goes in on Dennis. And just like that, this is exactly what Liquid needs. They need to come out on top of this one, and they've got a 4-man advantage. They need to come out with as many rifles in hand as they possibly can.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. They win all their battles this time. Everything went their way. Really good stuff. Down to just JW, and any kill he can get is going to be helpful to try and force some kind of a drop. But Liquid with 5 members surviving, that would be wonderful for them to be able to try and string 2 together.
Yeah, they have no money to work with right now.
And they have to. I mean, this is already a point where Fnatic probably, you got to assume they have as many rounds as they need already. You can't let them get too much more.
Yeah, 6 rounds on the T side, especially with as good as Fnatic's CT side is on this map. JW, he's going to be able to find Fugly, takes him down. Nice little bit of an opening here. If he does a 1v5 here, that would be absolutely mental. But with 35 seconds and only an AWP to play with, it's going to be very, very difficult for him to do anything. So it looks like he's just going to maybe go for a couple of kills here and try to hang on to this AWP for the remainder of this one. But again, he's still pushing forward, actually throws the smoke out, trying to bait him out. But Dren almost bites on that peak, but decides to bide his time. And JW still working these smokes. Seeing what he can find, trying to find that shot. He goes all the way back around, but he's going to get flanked. If he doesn't, Hiko takes him down. And finally, Liquid are going to be able to find their second one. And here we go. Nitro's got the double op set up here for Team Liquid. Let's see what they can do with it.
Yeah, and as the B player with Nitro, I mean, they're going to be able to just say, all right, we're going to put you in halls, and we're just very much going to leave you alone. You know, once in a while, they'll play with him on Catwalk, maybe exert some pressure in mid with a double op, one from window or connector, one from Catwalk. But for the most part in the late rounds, they're just going to say, Nitro, get up on the van, use that op. You'll have, you know, you can spot them out pretty early on. He's even going to use a Molotov here just to slow things down, just in case, to give him that safety. But he's already smoked off by Fnatic. 4 members over towards the B bomb site for Fnatic. They're in the halls, but they're waiting just a little bit longer. They're trying to bide their time. It's only Olofmeister in mid who's going to be able to cut off rotations, and here comes the hit.
And this is really going to be on Nitro. What can he do? He's going to be able to find one. He's going to get flashed out, but the flashes are going to fade. He's going to be able to find a second one. That's a nice find. Looks for a third, and he gets it. He's got one more up in the halls to beat. That's Crims. This is a massive hold with the AWP in the backside of the site from bench with Nitro. Dren finds another one. These ops are doing work this round. Last one to come around is Olofmeister on Catwalk. He's going to take the peek. Can't get the damage out, and Alish finishes him off. Another clean round from Team Liquid, and it comes on the back of, once again, Nitro getting those entries with that AWP.
Yeah, really good stuff. I mean, that's the third shot. Yeah, it's really nice. Woo! Nice flick over, very quick, efficient. So once again, everyone survives for Team Liquid. So now they're just building up the bank. Now, I mean, as long as they crush Fnatic here in this round, don't lose to these Tech 9s and pistols. Now that you've done the work, you've got yourself a foothold into this matchup to make the comeback. Start having a pretty solid defense. Don't lose it. Don't drop the ball here.
And that's the important thing. You can see a Dren. He's not blinded up here in window. They are going to go ahead and smoke him off. They know that he's there. They drop the Molotov out. It's going to flush him out of position. They're going to go for an immediate boost. He's burning alive. He's down to 23. He goes for the crawl space and ends up losing a lot of his health.
But he's forced so far away, and Fnatic has boosted up into window. They have full mid control. They can do whatever they want. They have complete control of this map despite not having the best arsenal. They've taken no damage.
Yeah, this is scary. They can come back around jungle and flank these players in A, and it looks like they want to go for a little bit of a crush here onto the A bomb. So you can see Olofmeister just toying with that smoke on Catwalk, but they're going to work back around, send a couple up through connector, and looks like actually, I believe that's Dennis with the AK is going to fall all the way back around towards terrorist spawn and make his way over to join his comrade up on A ramp. Now look at this counterplay. Fugly goes aggressive, and Crims nails the Juan Deke, takes him down, and that is going to be the advantage that Fnatic was looking for. Now we see grouped up here on Catwalk in the ladder room and subsequently in the window room. This is going to be a huge, massive hit onto this A bomb site, and it's going to be Alish behind the reverse fireboxes, seeing whether or not he can lock this one down. This is actually a pretty beneficial position for him to be in, but Nitro is going to miss the opening shot. Now they're going to know. He finds Crims, takes him down. Alish still yet to peek. They don't know that he's back here, and now he's going to pounce. Now he's going to be able to come around the backside. He's going to find one, finds two. Can he get the third? No, he cannot, and Olofmeister takes down a Dren. It's all on Hiko in a 1v2, and Olofmeister up close here by the window room. Looking for this final kill. He's going to spot him coming through. Hiko can't land the shots, and Olofmeister takes him down. Insult to injury, spam out the clip.
That can't happen. I mean, first of all, Fnatic with all that mid control, that's beautiful. Olaf gets into that great position. That push by Fugly, he did the same thing on Cash, that mid-round push into door for information all alone. Fnatic had no smokes to work with to execute onto this bomb site. He doesn't fall there. If Fugly's playing a little bit more passive, you know, also, if you're going to make that push, have a pop flash. You know, Crims was committed on that ramp. You had Nitro with the pop flash playing in CT spawn. You had a Liege there as well. Either double up on it and ensure that you get control of that ramp, or just throw one pop flash.
Now we see some mid-aggression coming out from Liquid. Are they going to check the corner here? They're going to... well, that's a brilliant pop flash, Olofmeister. He's going to completely blind Alish over there, and he's going to be able to take him down. Nicely done from him. JW harassing the B halls. Going to go toe-to-toe with Hiko here. See what happens as we do see a resurgence of aggression on Catwalk. It's going to be Fugly, long range, loses the battle, flush it, they double peek it, take him down. And this is just methodical CS from Fnatic. They're just taking these battles, and they've got this buddy system that's just working so well for them. All right, we're going to take mid control. Olofmeister and Flusha, go ahead and push on out there. And they find 2 kills with it.
Yeah, and they're playing these rounds so smart in the mid round. You're slowing things down when they need to be. And look at this, they have a 2-man advantage, and they're just manipulating the fact that Liquid has no information. Nitro and Adren, though, they punish it. 2 kills for them. Adren with the AWP. Now they're going to smoke things off. Now they're going to flash everything. The bomb's going to get into the site. It's going to go down, and it's going to be a 3-on-3 retake. There is 1 kit onto Hiko.
Yeah, and Adren, he's pretty far up here, but he's the only one in the site, and they flash on through. He can't hit the shot. Nitro does clean up Olafmeister, though, and we're going to be down to a 2 versus 2, but Hiko's so low. If he loses his kit in CT spawn, this is going to be really difficult for Nitro to go back and recover. He's going to drop the pop flash out, and the peak will come behind this. That's not going to do much. As you can see, Dennis actually all the way back behind fireboxes, popping a couple of shots out here to keep him, you know, pinpoint on his position, while JW can just harass down here on the stairs. And there you go. It's Dennis to clean it up. 2 big kills at the end for him. It got a little closer than I thought it was going to, being that it was 3-on-5 early in that round. But again, you know, Liquid, they're just not able to capitalize on this.
Yeah, now the snowball's starting to roll. Fnatic, once again, complete control of this match. Economically, Team Liquid is back onto a save, and you can see a pause coming out for them here. Need to talk some things over, need to figure out what they're doing, because if they want a chance, they're going to have to. I mean, if this round gets, if Fnatic wins this, gets up towards 9, then Liquid's going to have to win those last 3 rounds of the half. So Fnatic's just been doing a beautiful job, and a lot of it is coming down to that mid control. You know, you talked about the keys for what Liquid needed to do, and they had to have control of mid, and they haven't really been able to do it. Fnatic's been taking it from them. And you can see what it allows them to do, how they can manipulate the map. They can get a pick, they can get players into nice spots. You know, they can boost it up into window room or up above the ladder, cut off rotations. You just get that 1 kill, and all of a sudden it slows everything down for Team Liquid. And then they can rotate anywhere they want on the map.
And again, taking a look over there at the Liquid coach, James, giving an earful to his teammates, letting them know that this is what we need to do going forward into this one. You know, they're going to take a brilliant opportunity here to just talk things over and try to figure out what kind of strategy they need going into the next round. As it's just looking like Fnatic is just going to run away with this one. They're on the verge of going up 9-3. That's a huge terrorist side lead to take into the second half, especially with as strong as we've seen Fnatic on their CT side of such a map like Mirage. I mean, we saw basically them destroy Conquest in day 1. You know, not really much that they could do on that one. And then, you know, pretty much in any previous tournament, there really hasn't been a team that's really contested Fnatic on this map, as opposed to, like, you know, your ex-TSM or Virtus Pro, and for that matter.
Liquid actually had the economy of Fnatic down very, very low. So, I mean, it's a little bit of a bummer that they got reset here, because they were almost able to break it at a certain point. And to get back, I mean, to gain that advantage back, you can see Flush how Olafmeister, they picked up a Mac 10 into this next round. They know that's going to be a save. They know they're more than likely not going to be going up against any armor. So they're going to try and farm a little bit of money, build that up, feel a little bit more strength than going into the end of this first half. And this time, I mean, this is the big thing as well. They're not having that massive individual performance on this map, and, you know, they've just been able to do virtually whatever they want.
Yeah, and that's really the big thing. Like you said, I mean, we talk about maps like Cache and Mirage, and even so sometimes on Dust 2, you know, how mid control is so incredibly important on those maps. You know, you take over that, and you've got so many different avenues of attack when it comes down to, you know, all right, we can go, you know, split connector and A, we can split cat and B, we can, you know, all these different opportunities for these teams to utilize this positional awareness of having mid, because you open the map up so much from that. And that's one of the things that Fnatic has just been doing so well. They did it on Cache earlier in their comeback victory over Team Liquid on map number 1.
Yeah, and once again, Fnatic just basically bull rushes up catwalk. These Mac 10s going to work. 3 kills for him so far into this round, and it's just Fugly. He's going to be rotating from that A bomb site. Flush is going to try and find him through the smoke, and almost does it. And he's going to just swing out as it clears. Finish off that last kill, so 9-3 now for Fnatic and Team Liquid. They're going to have to buy into this round. But it's going to be...
It's going to be rough.
Yeah, sitting around... Are they... Yes. Are they not going to buy? Are they going to buy? Okay, they're buying. Yep. That scared me a little bit for a second.
But, I mean, look at the biggest part about this isn't the fact that, yeah, they got rifles in their hands. The biggest fact about it is that they have no utility really to use. I mean, they've already thrown out a smoke. Elise has dropped his already. Dropped actually 2 smokes already in this round. And you can see the only nade kits that they have are actually on the back of Hiko, Nitro, and Adren. And you're down to 4 flashes and 2 smokes, and you've already lost a member at B to a quick play from Fnatic. So this is nice stuff from them. And they should be able to clean out Nitro, and they do. Fugly does get a return kill. And actually Adren over there, he cheats over towards that B bomb site, and they find another one. The bomb is actually down in the B halls. They don't know this yet, but it actually turns out in the favor of Liquid with a man advantage.
This is some of that game sense from Olaf Meister. He knows with all that pressure at B, more than likely forced a rotation back from the last player at A.
I think he saw Alicia's shoulder too over here.
Yeah, he might have, and he's going to go for this peek. He just crouches. He wins it anyways. Wins the duel. Nicely done. But now, I mean, look at him. He's just still on a tear. The bomb is going to come up connector as well. The defense is still split because they have to be honest for the B bomb site. Now it's just going to be a nightmare rotating back for a Drem because you don't know if Olaf's going to be there, and he finds the timing, gets another one. He's going to get caught out with his back turn, but now that leaves Flusha with the knowledge of where the remaining member is. And Flusha, that, you know, that clutch guy for Fnatic. I mean, we see him all the time win these, and he's got all the info he needs.
Yeah, and the big thing about it, too, is that he also had 39 seconds to figure out what he wants to do. So the longer that he delays this plant, the longer it makes Fugly sweat. And you can see he's actually gambling towards the B bomb site. Not going to be the right call. He's going to have to hightail it all the way back towards A. And it's 100 HP versus 100 HP. The only benefit that Fugly has right now is that he has a smoke to work with and that he's on 100 HP. Because if he goes for the smoke defuse and the nade comes in, it's not going to finish him off. We'll see where he decides to drop the smoke. He's actually going to throw it towards the A ramp. And that's a good call. That is where he's going to be. There's the return nade and the push through, and Fugly's going to get it. But again, you talk about keeping members alive to stabilize your economy, and this is another situation where they weren't able to do that. And he's not actually going to get the defuse, so that's Fnatic picking up another one. And I spoke a little bit too soon on that one. Didn't get that kill in time.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. No kit, but it is smart to use that smoke over towards a ramp because if you smoke off the bomb and just try and stick a 10-second defuse, chances are you're gonna get caught at a certain point. If you throw it at that A ramp, look, it forces Flusha to get aggressive through it, and he's got to have the intel. Now he wins the battle, but without a kit, they lose the round anyway. So just one more thing going against Team Liquid here, and 10-3 now for Fnatic. Olaf is back on the AWP, Liquid is back on the pistols, and it's fast play over towards this B bomb site. That one kill from Flusha has caused the defense to evacuate out of the B bomb site, so this should be an easy plant.
Yeah, and right now it's just a rinse and repeat scenario here for Team Liquid throughout this half. And you can see Fugly, he's going to get aggressive. They're going to put 3 guns in the face of Flusha, 3 pistols for that matter in the face of Flusha, but that's just going to alert them that, hey, he already got a kill over here in A. There's 3 more players. B bomb site pretty much open for business, and that's what they're going to find right now as they go in, get the bomb plant, and take control for yet another round.
Got to try and go for this, but Dennis is just dealing so much damage. Send the pistols and see if you can get anything going.
JW is geared up for a backstab too. He's going to find one there onto Adren, adjusts the aim and takes down Fugly, and it's a clean sweep here after losing Flusha early in the round. So 11-3, and this is just a completely dominant half from Fnatic. And Team Liquid, if they don't get this last round, even if they win the pistol round, they still don't give themselves much of a cushion to work with in the second half. They can't afford any mistakes.
Yeah, and now double up setup back Nitro with the AWP. We saw the last time this happened, Nitro had that triple kill round over in the B bomb site. One of the few shining moments from Team Liquid here. But very, very quick mid presence from Fnatic. Already out and peeking E, not even with the smoke or a flash whatsoever. One member already up connector. This is Dennis being really, really aggressive. He's going to win that battle against Elige. Knows there's one more, and Olaf's going to pick one off. That's a Dren peeking into winner. One of the AWPs down so quickly. Are they whittling away this defense?
And that's just, the awareness from Fnatic. They just speed things up again. This time it's going to pay dividends for him. Nitro's going to be able to get a return frag. He goes there as well, so they're slowly whittling down the offensive here from Fnatic. But again, it's a 2v3. The bomb is going to get planted here in A, but the only saving grace is Fugly down here on the A ramp. But it looks like Krim's knows, and it doesn't even matter what Krim's knows. Flusha just destroys him.
Fugly's not having a lot of fun right now. Not too much has been going his way. They do have a kit this time on a Hiko as well as 2 smokes. The Krims, wisely is going to peek. He's going to smoke off, or he's going to Molotov the bomb, but that gets smoked off as well. So now it's not effective whatsoever, but that is just swinging, taking a fight. Krims is going to win the first one. Flusha is low, but so is Nitro. And Nitro just going to try and stick it in the smoke, but he's right on the edge of it. So Flusha, I believe, had a pretty clear line of sight.
Yep.
So 12-3 is going to be the halftime score in the favor of Fnatic on the T side.
Yeah, and just a big-time struggle for Liquid. I mean, obviously, since I said I talked to James beforehand, the coach for Team Liquid, and he said, Cash obviously was something that they wanted. And you could see a completely different Team Liquid on Cash than you see here on Mirage. He knew that they were going to be in trouble. As you take a look at James, you knew that they were going to be in trouble when they got onto a map like Mirage. They were hoping for a 3-game series if they wanted any hopes of being able to take this one. Dust 2 being, kind of a neutral territory. They said that their Dust 2 is pretty good here for Liquid, but unfortunately, based off of that first half here for map number 2, we're not going to see Dust 2. This is going to be a 2-0 series. Fnatic, I mean, they're one of the teams that's out there, one of the best teams in the world, not only just competitive-wise, but in their ability to close out matches. You very rarely see Fnatic allow comebacks.
Yeah, but listen, we saw Nitro in that last map.
He's going to have to go
in that losing effort. He's going to have something similar, and it's entirely possible. We also have Hiko who's like an X factor. You know, if he can just win like a 1-on-3, spur you guys forward, because that's what you need in this kind of a situation when you're feeling down. You need your all-stars to make big plays for you. Hiko and Nitro can provide that, and right now it's Olaf Meister who's being pressured at the B bomb site. This is a rush from Team Liquid already here, but Olaf staying alive as long as possible, even finding that kill. Nice one tap onto Fugly, still alive. They have not cleared him out just yet. Finally, Nitro does it, but all the rotations are in, and they're getting cleaned out by Liquid.
Yeah, and again, you were talking about Nitro kind of having to step his game up, gets 2 big kills in the pistol round. This could be, you know, a little bit of a breather here for the now terrorist side of Liquid. Adren goes down to Crims, but we'll see what kind of a retake it is. Elige over here on Catwalk. He's going to go to battle with Flusha. Flusha spamming away, but Elige's going to win that battle, and Elige comes back around. Crims takes down Hiko, so it's a 2 versus 1, but Nitro playing this one so smart. Gets himself in the kitchen. They've got a nice little crossfire. And there's the stick. Elige going to find the 3rd, and that is going to be a very nice round there from Team Liquid. Now it's just going to be a matter of stringing them together and capitalizing on mistakes from Fnatic.
Yeah, this was sick by Olaf, just staying alive as long as possible. You look already, all the members of Fnatic are in the kitchen, and Nitro just eventually just gets fed up with it. He's like, all right, we got to clear him out of here. I'm going to go take care of it. Gets that kill. That's what allows Liquid to stream into the bomb site, get comfortable, and get the bomb planted.
And now we see a little hodgepodge by here from the terrorist side. They've got an AK, a Galil, and then a couple of SMGs to boot. And you can see actually Fugly's going to go down into the underpass. I believe there's actually a player down there. Yeah, it's JW. He's tucked away in the corner. He takes the peek, catches one with the nade out, but now they know that he's down there. And they're going to go ahead and drop that nade and take him down. Dren's going to be able to find that with the MP7. Again, this MAC-10 long range going to look for some damage onto Olaf Meister. He's down to 58, but a lot of damage has also been dealt here to some of the terrorist side players. Elige at 65, 58 for Adren, and 39 for Fugly. So some damage being dealt on both sides of this one. So this is not something that Fnatic, you know, they're willing to back down from. They can still do a lot of damage this round.
Yeah, Liquid not choosing anywhere to commit to quite yet. Now they're aggressing forward into those B halls. Adren's going to find himself in a connector. Nitro working his way up Catwalk as well. It's going to be Flusha over at that B bomb site. He's the one they're going to have to deal with, and he's getting a lot of pressure.
Oh, that nade was really nice, though. It did so much damage to Elige, and he cleans him up for free. Looking for a second, and he gets it as well. He goes down. The long reload on that CZ, though, is going to cost him his life as Nitro chimes in with 2 more this round as well. And now it's Dennis with the Desert Eagle there from Kitchen. Crims coming around from the backside of Catwalk. There's still a lot of work here for Fnatic to do, but they've got so many players that are so low. There it is. Dennis is going to give himself away. Actually hits the wallbang onto Nitro, takes him down, so still doable. Comes out, though. Adren cleans him up, and Crims 1 versus 2. Adren tucked away in the corner, loses his life. This is very, very expensive now here for the terrorist side. Fugly trying to make it happen. Ends up losing his life in the long run, but no kit, so no danger of really losing the round.
Doesn't even matter. They've done everything. They got all the kills. Now it's going to force so many rebuys out of Team Liquid, just keeping that money low. This is the thing with this kind of a lead. Grind out the money situation. Force Liquid to, you know, if they want to go for an AWP, maybe they can't afford it next round because of how many people they just lost. You know, at some point, if you keep doing all this damage, they're going to be, you know, running low on smokes. They won't be able to have those long-term tactics. You know, it's not. You can't just use, you know, 2 smokes to take control of mid and then an execute onto the A bomb site if you only have 3 smokes to work with. So Fnatic, despite losing that round, they still just won the economy game essentially early on.
Yeah. I mean, basically that's exactly what it was, because it negates all of that money that you just made with those SMGs. You know, now you got to rebuy a couple of SMGs here, 2 MP7s, and then you've also got 3 AKs that have been bought up too. So it's pretty risky stuff. And now you can see barreling in towards this B bomb site. They've been favoring B so far in all 3 of these rounds, but gonna lay a dink out. Elige is down to 41 HP, and the push is gonna come around from the kitchen side. You saw 3 players that were actually over in market, but they're gonna flee from that area. And here's that boost again over top of the double stack boxes on Catwalk. Dennis is gonna peek out. He's ready for it.
Oh, barely. He gets brought down to 18 HP. Nice shot from Dennis. And look at the Fnatic's not even trying to go for this whatsoever. They're just setting up containment. They're just saying, all right, we got 5 kills last round. If we get, you know, any kill we get in this round is just a bonus because it's just more rebuys. Nitro, he's going to have to take down Dennis, but a nice shoulder peek. Feeling awkward for Nitro. Dennis trying to land the shot. Molotov is going to hold him back for how long? The rest of Fnatic is trying to find ways to get some of these exit kills.
Now they've got 2 players over. They're going to press on in. There's the first one. Switching over to the Glock, and it's Hiko to try to find anything else. But again, you know, actually that's not that bad because Krems actually bought head armor into that eco round and a 5-7. So he manages to hang on to that, you know, that $1,500 investment in that round, and he's going to pick up an M4 and a full nade stack along with a kit as well. So they've got one kit to work with here on the CT side, which is maybe one kit too few, but we'll see how that one pans out. 12-6 is going to be your scoreline. 6 rounds the difference. Team Liquid trying to get themselves back into this one, but it's going to be on the back of a 5 AK buy, and we'll see whether or not Nitro can have another dominant T-side performance. But Adren is down, Fugly is down, and things not looking good early on in this one. Elige answers back, but Hiko gets traded, and we are down to a 4 versus 2. But it is going to be Elige and Nitro. We'll see what the entry fraggers can do here. There's another one for Elige, another one for Nitro. They're bringing this one back, and Elige and Nitro get it done in a 2v4. That was massive.
Yeah, that's really good from them. I mean, that initial mid play out of Team Liquid, that was a very fast split onto the A bomb site. It's really cool watching Fnatic. If you watch like the mini map, you know, they don't take long range battles in mid. It's at a certain point when Liquid, you know, reaches the base of connector. It's like everyone from Fnatic is just like, all right, this is where we peak. They don't go any farther than this. So they eliminate half the attack, but it's beautifully done by that duo, that Nitro and Elige. From there, they salvage the round, some really good shots, and nice trading there at the end by Nitro.
Yeah, so again, we're going to see them inch ever so much closer. 5 rounds now difference. It's going to force another save round here for Fnatic. Great nade up from Subway is going to find heavy damage onto JW. That was an 80 damage nade. Molotov into the corner. JW, see you later. He's going to roast. And another Molotov. Oh man, is Olafmeister going to go down here? The nades and the mollies have done so much damage. Adren gets the shot off, takes him down. Not a lot of damage being dealt just yet. Elige is going to be able to find one more onto Dennis, and that's going to force Krims to turtle up inside a Palace, waiting for the push to come in towards A. His teammate all the way over in CT spawn. That's Flusha with the CZ75, but so much work ahead of him. But Flusha with a nice shot takes down Nitro. See you later. 3 shots from the CZ, and you're gone. Still got to contend with Krims up here in Palace, and Flusha again finds another one. So here comes that expensive part of the round, and now Krims pushes, and he goes down.
That almost looked believable after Flusha gets those 2 kills, and you see the positioning of Krims. So very nicely done to just be wise to the fact and be ready for that kind of a push. So Flusha has an AK-47 now. He could try and go away, but it looks like he still wants to grab one more kill before falling back. No chance of him winning this round without a kit. He's going to take that fight long range. He's going to get gooshed down to 10 HP or 11 HP. Not too much more he can do here. And he is going to move forward, and Fugly's just going to drop him 8-12 now for Team Liquid, closing the gap just a little bit.
Yeah, they're at least starting to make the Fnatic side sweat a little bit. And you can actually see the top fragger in the server once again is Nitro. 20-14. He's having a fantastic series here. It's really, you know, you expect Fugly to be doing a little bit more for the Liquid side. You know, he's one of the most consistent players in North American Counterstrike as far as just always constantly being there as a solid person that you can rely on to have a, you know, a good frag count at the end of a match. And Hiko needs to step up. I think he's down at 7 kills himself. And look at that nade to the top side of mid. Olafmeister with the off on Cat's going to open up first blood here. They're going to molly him back. And Fugly answers back, takes Flusha down. So that's a nice little bit of a trade there. But Olafmeister again chiming in with that AWP. Dennis as well with the M4 takes down Elige. And we're down to a 2 versus 4. This time it's Hiko and Adren. The 2 kind of clutch duo here from the Liquid side. And we'll see if they can do it once again.
Fortunately, they know that there's an op on the halls, and Hiko's going to get that opening kill. Now he's going to be able to get the bomb planted. Adren can push forward a little bit, provide him some cover. Out of nades is the Liquid side in a 2-on-3. Hiko's been spotted crossing over towards bench. That was Krims, jumped up with the angle. Flashbang comes out. They're going to aggress onto Hiko. He's going to win that first battle. Dennis falls. He's going to get a second one, and he's got to win this one-on-one, and he's found out where Krims is, but he reloads. He's biding his time. And Krims pushing forward, being aggressive. And Hiko absolutely has to win this one, but he can't do it. Krims is going to find the angle in the end. And with the kit, this is going to be an easy defuse.
Yeah, so close. But again, we saw this kind of happen to Team Liquid in the first half, you know, losing 4 members on a gun round. This was a very tight buy here for the CT side anyway, but again, you know, Hiko with the late round heroics almost clutching out the 1v3. Just unfortunately comes up just a little bit too short. But now look at this buy here on the CT side. You've got 2 umps. Olafmeister barely gets the op back in his hands. I think he actually got dropped that from one of his teammates because he actually does have a full nade kit. But they've got 2 umps on their side. The armor pin is good, yeah, but you're still facing up against entry fraggers like Elige and Nitro that should just be able to destroy you if you've got an SMG.
Listen, Fnatic can use whatever gun they want. I'm willing to let them have that.
Okay, I'll
But
give
it's
it to you
going to
this
be
time.
Olaf with this AWP. I mean, he had exerted some force in mid at last round, just whittling down this attack, picking people off left and right. And he's actually going to rotate away from it just as Team Liquid streams out. The smoke comes into play, and that forces him back. So 3 members of Team Liquid are at the base of Connector. 2 are over at the A bomb site. One's going to be at A ramp. One's going to be at the A halls. But Nitro's going to get that first pick onto Crims.
Yeah, this is big. Actually, Dennis over here from Ticket Booth, he's going to be spotting out for one, but it's going to be the UMP up close here from Sandwich, and JW, he's going to take down 2, and it's like you said, it doesn't matter what guns they're using because they managed to find these kills somehow anyway. And again, it's going to be Adren to chime back in, finally trades that frag out, and now they've got to be careful because there's one in Connector. That's going to be Flusha. The ump's doing work this round, and it's all down to Adren. 3 versus 1. Spots the first, spots the second. Can he get the third? It's going to be Flusha. Down to 17 HP, though. He's got 3 kills on the round. Drops the Molotov, but Flusha with the superior positioning, and he's going to take that fight, takes down Adren, and now Fnatic 14-8.
Yeah, 2 one-on-ones in a row for Team Liquid that could have kept the Magic alive, and they're not able to win. I don't think Adren expected Flusha to have swung so wide, but that was a beautiful transfer right there at the end on that second kill. Almost even a third. Just can't win it out in the end, and now it's do or die time. 8-14, Team Liquid, long way to go. They're going to buy into this round. Hiko's stuck on a Tech 9, but everyone else, I mean, Fugly's on a Tech 9, but at least he's got armor. 2 AKs, an ump, and 2 Tech 9s for Team Liquid in a desperate situation.
Desperate indeed. Back to a 6-round lead here for Fnatic, and it looks like it's going to be a heavy pressure on towards that B bomb site once again here from the Team Liquid side. You can see the nades go raining in. Fugly gets tapped down to 83 HP to start this round out, but again, you know, it's just going to be that slow play finally from Team Liquid. They've gone really aggressive the last couple of rounds, and granted it paid off, but it came down to the clutch play. You know, the last 2 times. Actually, it didn't pay off the last 2 times because it came down to that 3v1 for Hiko and that 3v1 for Adren. And it's, you know, you see those late round heroics, it's so close, but unfortunately, they don't end up getting the round. But now with Fnatic, it was 2 one-player alive rounds in a row. So their money is not great. 1 trade of rounds and Team Liquid could be back into a little bit of a heavy favor.
Yeah, here comes the execute though, and JW inside the smoke. He's going to fool Liquid a little bit. So much damage is being dealt. Flush, and here's Olaf finally swinging out, but Flush is still holding strong. 3 members of Fnatic are here. They've read this perfectly, and it's a slaughter.
Yeah, and with that investment there from Team Liquid, this is going to be a measly, measly buy from them. Tech 9's in armor for sure. Maybe a scout on the back of Adren, try to do some damage here, but looks like it's just going to be Tech 9's in armor, and we'll see where they decide to go. But again, Dennis, he's staying on that Mag 7. The rest of them are going to have a full arsenal here for the CT side, but 15-8, not looking good here for Fnatic, or pardon me, for Team Liquid. Looking great for Fnatic.
Yeah, that really is.
I mean, 16-14 on Cash, stealing away Liquid's buy, or Liquid's map choice, and now you've got, you know, 7 rounds to play with here on Mirage. It's tough.
Yeah, just a standard execution now for Team Liquid. All Tech 9s on the board, going to try and push forward. The smokes are out, but Dennis is going to be close up with a shotgun. He can't get anything going, but there's a nice crossfire. JW gets 1 before falling for Cribs. Comes in to save the day. 3 kills for him, and Olaf is going to finish things off. 16-8 is the final score as Fnatic are going to move on.
Yeah, and again, like you said, you know, it was kind of Nitro leading the way for Liquid. They just come up a little bit short there in the first map, and the second map not nearly as close as what the first one was, but again, Nitro having another very, very solid series here, and shows you why he's one of the top players in the North American scene right now, just that explosive entry fragging that he has. But again, not to take anything away from Fnatic, they played extremely well. You know, the big comeback on Mirage, or on Cash, and then taking Mirage, their map pick, you kind of expected it to go this way. But again, just a nice effort there from Liquid, just coming up a little bit short here.
Well, I mean, you know, there were some mistakes from Fnatic on Cash, but you know, this is the difference. When Fnatic was making mistakes, you know, they lost some rounds. They let Liquid grab an early lead, but they didn't always capitalize on all of them. You could see towards the end it kind of shifted, and Liquid wasn't able to force or capitalize on Fnatic's mistakes at the end of that Cash match. And Fnatic, on the other hand, every mistake that Liquid made after Fnatic paused it, every time Liquid made a mistake, it was punished, and it was exploited very, very well by Fnatic. And you know, Liquid had the opportunity. You know, they had to win that Cash match. That had to happen. We all knew it looking at the maps that they weren't going to win Mirage. So, you know, at the end of that first, it's another situation where you lose that first map, and all of a sudden you know there's no chance you're going to win that second one.
Yeah, and that's one of the problems with the veto process and not having the strongest map pool out there. You know, they already conceded basically that Mirage was a map that they weren't really going to have an opportunity to win. But let's go ahead and get some post-game thoughts and feelings here. We've got Sadakist over on the stage, and he's going to be joined by JW, Creamy JW.
Yeah, Creamy JW indeed, my Compton gangster. You guys come out 2-0 in this game, move back into the semi, start off on cash. Nitro goes nuts on the T side. Were you guys a little bit concerned at halftime, that being down 5 rounds?
Not really. I mean, they played great, but it's always like it's never over until it's over, you know, and we saw that. Like, they can do a sick half, but we still need to keep that mentality that we always can win, because we always can. It doesn't matter if they have 14 or 15. We can still win. So, I mean, we talked a bit about the mistakes, and because we did a lot of them, but it's pretty normal for us these days that the first game, the first map, we always do like super many mistakes. So we just kept playing our game, and yeah, it worked out.
Yeah, it did work out. Yesterday as well, that was a bit of a problem when you guys played against Envious. You know, new team, everything's been great. You've had that honeymoon, but a little bit of struggles and a little bit of frustration. How was communication today? Do you guys still feel like you guys are all right as a team, or is there going to be these little things that show up now with the adjustment period?
Well, of course, it's never good to lose, but I mean, we'd rather lose in a game like that instead of a final. So we got to learn a lot. We talked about every mistake. We talked about the positions and everything, and we learned a lot from it. So I think it was very needed for us, because it was like one of the first games we lose on LAN. So it was very good for us, I would say. And yeah, I mean, you learn the most from the losses. And now every game is do or die. So we're just gonna play our A game every game from now on.
Yeah, and of course, that series that we just mentioned, that Envious one, was the first sort of series loss as the new team. So I guess, like you say, it's important to get that under the belt, make sure you can identify the mistakes. One of the things that's also changed within the team that everyone's kind of been talking about, but you've not really said anything official about, is you're no longer sort of the primary operator now. It's Olaf. What was the decision on that? Who made that call?
I mean, it's a team call. I don't know. I have been. I mean, it's pretty obvious I've been in a pretty bad shape the past like months or so. And I mean, I'm doing my best to come back. And for now, it's the best that he's the main operator, and I'm focusing on finding my own game again, pretty much. So it's a team decision, pretty much, and I stand by it, of course, because I know my weaknesses, and I know all that. You know, I know I've been sloppy, but yeah, I'm doing my best to come back, and I think I'm improving every day as a rifler, and I think it's going great so far, and hopefully, probably one day I pick up the op again.
Yeah, well, I'm sure lots of people would love to see that, because you've become known for your style. But that said, I mean, win's a win. Take it any way you can get it. Doesn't matter what you're playing. I'm going to let you guys take a break. You guys get to relax. You do play 2 games today, because the semifinals are this evening. So you'll play off against TSM or TQM, Quest Denmark, whatever you want to call them. Thoughts going into that game? They've kind of been your kryptonite in the past, but lately they've been struggling. How do you guys feel?
We're going into every game with a feeling we're gonna win. So we're gonna go in, do our best. Hopefully it's enough, and yeah, we really wanna end this year strong with another title and then go for a vacation. So we're gonna go all in.
Perfect. Well, I think we've worked on this. I think I'm ready. Oh, we nailed it. I've graduated from Canada to Compton. Thanks so much, JW. And we're going to graduate from the stage to a much better place, a much more comfortable place with much better looking gentlemen. Alex, please take it away.
Check out this swaggy character. He's definitely stepped up his game. Much love to Sadakist for that one, and good to hear from JW as well. Shedding some light on that whole discussion point we were bringing up beforehand about this AWPing, switch over to Olaf, and we were speculating, suggesting, it was more of just a case of new leadership, new roles being adapted, but instead it does seem like JW was kind of given, a bit of the boot, and they're suggesting right now for the team Olaf was the more appropriate character to give the AWP. However, do you not think that's going to be taking anything away from Olaf as an individual? Like saying, I mean, Olaf was dropping bombs with the rifle. Are we giving him an AWP? Is that not kind of a little bit potentially a worry?
Olaf is a complete player.
Oh, we know that, yeah.
But that's it. Just he's a complete player.
Just do whatever you want.
Do what you want.
Do what you want and give him whatever weapon he needs. And
it's as simple as that, dude. For a while there, he was the best player in the world. Now it's it's contested a little bit, but he had a personal drop off. I'd say there are some other players that they could maybe make a claim for that Guardian. One of them, as far as at the top. But Olaf is still just a complete player. You can ask him to play anything and he'll do it. and he'll wreck people with it. So it's that simple. I don't think now. I think the more of the focus should come onto JW, where it's just like, okay, your big thing was opping and going crazy, and we aren't seeing much of either. So
where did that go?
You know, where did that go? And this is going to be a personal thing for him, I think. And maybe, you know, a couple weeks off, a bit of a break, he can take some time to reset, and we can see, you know, a more explosive JW, the JW that we're used to seeing, you know, going into next year.
You have a lot of capable people still on the roster that are able to pick up the op market. So it's like, it's not really like him going off of that role is taking any big thing away from the team at all.
No, but it is from him. I mean, that's my worry.
From him specifically, to a certain degree, yes. But I mean, we still saw him to a certain degree, at least in the matches where they were going up against North Americans, he was still able to perform very adamantly and still pick up quite a few kills with the rifle.
I mean, it's something we're going to have to keep our eyes on.
You saw there, he missed one shot. He's done.
He's done. Get him out.
Nice replay work. We get to see. You know, he's crumbling.
Well,
he's crumbling.
No, that's perfect. He'll just move here to NA, and then he'll be top again. You know?
That's. Yeah,
Easy.
I think that is going to be
solution.
the point and the kind of main discussion point on the desk. The last North American hope has now fallen for the ESL ESEA Pro League Finals.
Let's talk about NA, because I know everybody on Reddit or whatever is going to be like, oh, we did a good job. We almost won 3 maps. Moses isn't here, so someone has to crush NA. Figured I might do it. So I got a piece of paper here.
Okay.
We're going to talk a little bit about North America, because we didn't win a single freaking map against any European team. We didn't even win a map against Luminosity. We got crushed. So we have the 2-0, the first 2-0. There we go. That's Envy crushing Liquid initially.
Yep.
Then we have XTSM taking down. Then we have XTSM taking down CLG. Then we see Conquest. They take down. They're taken down, I should say, by Fnatic. And then today, well, Fnatic just crushes Liquid as well. NA is gone, and we suck. That's just, yeah. We suck.
Wow, we suck.
We
I
do.
mean, yeah, a little round of applause for Blue, who's had his little breakdown.
There.
Baby Blue's first
It's disappointing.
breakdown.
It's disappointing.
Yeah, I understand that. I can wholeheartedly understand that, especially teams that you follow for like so long. You know, you're kind of like casting them. You can see like the rises and the falls, and then you see them come into this tournament up against 4 European teams, and we just see them kind of get kicked to the dust.
He doesn't even get to cheat like I do. You know, at least half of me can still cheer for Europe, right? You know, half of me died a long time ago.
Yeah.
You guys are so
it
mean.
shriveled up into a little ball, much like that, piece of paper there. But there's still the European the European side, and I found another side as well, because I live in Sweden, right?
Yeah.
Adopted Swede.
Okay.
It's like there we go, Sweden, Europe.
You're just covering all the bases.
Maybe I have some like Brazilian origins, so maybe I could go for like the kind of the South American vibe. I could take that. I could pull that off. So
I
we'll
ate
see.
a lot of tacos. Does that count?
I mean,
Dude, I got your taco mix. Don't worry.
Did you?
Yeah.
Talking of, I went to Taco
dude.
Bell for the first time ever
Really?
yesterday. Yeah,
How
I
was
got
it?
to experience that. It was quick and
Did you get the
easy to eat.
shitters?
It was quick and easy to eat.
What's up?
Did you get the shitters?
No, actually, no.
Because Luminosity obviously shits on all of NA.
I mean, at the moment they do. Yep, I didn't. By the way, if you're worrying about my bowels, all good in the hood. I'm feeling good, feeling fresh today.
Fifth is cold, like the Swedish winter. He's just, he absorbed his
I had the
heartland.
sour cream in my taco yesterday as well, ice cold.
And the guac.
I think I avoided guac. No. I know.
What?
Don't judge me. I'm not an avocado guy.
Okay, stop it now. We're a little bit harsh. They're trying. They're trying to compete. Trying to compete.
That's true. I mean, they are. There's no denying that.
They're not competing. They're trying.
Yeah, I was about to say, good use of words there. Let's point that out real quick.
Let's stop railing on North American Counterstrike just for a second, because I think
gets old.
It does. It gets old. It gets old fast. It is the same story, however, where we have once again said goodbye to North American Counterstrike before we do get to those semi-finals. So, I mean, the next discussion point is going to be, of course, the pickup for Fnatic. And what form have we just seen from them in that best of 3 when it comes into their next game against Question Mark? I mean, JW didn't seem astoundingly confident when it was asked by Matt about that matchup between the two of them. Blue, when you look at the Danes versus the Swedes, what do you think about this Scandinavian brawl?
I mean, I think Semler said it best when we were talking right before he came back to it. It's looking okay. Again, this is a great performance versus North American teams, but when you're looking at the other top 2 European teams like XTSM and specifically like Envy and whatnot, it's still going to be a very, very rough match when they get to face off against them later on in the day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's the case, because you have players here on, like, take Liquid for example, Conquest. Players that can have these shining moments or these incredible halves. Crazy stat, actually, that we learned during the downtime is that Nitro just had the 2nd best cash T-side performance of the year of 2015 on LAN. The only guy who tops him is Device. So, like, Device with 29 frags, I think, versus CLG. So it's like Nitro literally had one of the best maps of the year right there, and that's what it takes for Liquid to even come close to beating, you know, one of the top 4 teams in the world.
They have got,
It's insane.
such big individuals. That was the point.
Okay, I got my jab in on NA again. I know I said we wouldn't.
I was trying to.
We
Did you see I was trying to soften that blow?
But
I mean, that says a lot though when you consider that it's that dominant performance and they still don't win the map.
it's really frustrating.
No, but
it's really frustrating.
I
to
mean,
watch,
just
but-
think it positive, right? At least they have the players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not the issue. Like, they have good players. You have one of the best clutchers in the world. You have, again, Nitro, one of the best up-and-comers that you got, that NA or even Europe.
And that's
has
what I
to
was
offer,
eventually
right?
going to get around to, is that, you know, after I got my jabs in, right? But TQM are a much more complete team. So they have these players, right? Like NA has shown us, they have these players, Hiko, Nitro, you know, individually skilled, right? But now you need to have that full package that kind of brings it all together. And Kerrigan is that leader who's brought TQM together. They have strategies. They have experience with this roster for a long time now. There's no easy way to get in on them. I mean, you thought, you know, with Na'Vi yesterday, when they thought perhaps they had found a way to mess with TQM by taking Train, right? Which is a map that TQM just ban all the time.
Yeah.
You know, now you learn, oh, well, that turns out that isn't really a weak spot either. So it's a much bigger challenge now for Fnatic to go up against a more complete team in the Danes.
Yeah, and I think one of the steps that we're going to be seeing in 2016, I think 2016 could be a really good step in the right direction for North America. I think we're going to start seeing some more European, North American hybrids. There's a couple of European free agents at the moment, which I wouldn't be surprised if they do come across the pond and maybe spread their wings in North America. And that could be the kick up the backside you're suggesting they need.
I agree with this 100% because I think culturally, like between Europe and North America and just the way that we call and whatnot and the way that we are to some degree as people, there is a really big difference. I mean, you can see this if you've ever been to Europe and North America. North Americans very rushed, very chaotic about the way we to some degree go about our lives. And obviously this doesn't cover everyone, but then Europeans, again, I've noticed in those countries everything is a little bit more laid back, a little bit more calm, and you can sort of see that in the way that these teams play Counterstrike to a certain degree. So if we can get some European influence into that, I think that could help out the North American talent to a huge degree.
Sure. What did you take away from playing FPL again? Don't even talk about it.
No,
Okay.
I mean, the thing is, I'm horrible.
I mean, you are horrible.
I am horrible,
oh, yeah,
right?
absolutely
I can't kill anyone at this point in time. Obviously, I couldn't do that before either, but
You're
you
my
know,
best
I'm worse
support.
now because I don't play the game anymore. One thing, though, that I don't have is a stress level that's up to here and blood pressure that's just about to kill you when you call. Just there. I mean, we were going to joke about it when we got back. It's like, if I were to talk to you, we're just talking regular here now.
Yeah, this is nice.
But
This is chill.
what if I just change that and it's like, Alex, 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 me.
Yeah. No, but you have to say. That's it. There you go. That's the one.
It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Mind blown. I even got a headache from that. It's going to imagine these guys.
It's the problem where the human mind thinks that if you say it more than once, you're making it clearer. Like you'll be saying short, pushing A. Or I'm alone on A. Guys, I'm alone on A. Guys, I'm alone on A. I'm alone. It's like, we heard you the first time. Please stop, please.
Yeah.
We kind of hit the same issues again and again. Communication, mindset, European presence needed. I mean, there you go. That's your checklist for North America 2016. It's been done. Let's just quickly get some a little intro into our next game. I want to talk about that one because, of course, it's going to be the rematch. The rivalry that's already been kind of highlighted is starting to grow between Na'Vi, the CIS team, and, of course, the Brazilians, Luminosity. Start with you then, Robin, going into this one. A little highlight for the guys at home, what to look forward to in this one.
I mean, Luminosity almost beat Na'Vi. They pulled them into overtime, couldn't just really close it out. I think for Luminosity now, we saw it yesterday as well, the managers they have behind them, massive sheet of paper, right? They know what to expect from Na'Vi now, right? They already played them once this tournament. They know their tendencies. Probably when they saw the last game yesterday that Na'Vi played versus XTSM, probably have more of an idea of, oh, well, maybe not pick the same map we picked yesterday, right? Let's go for another one. I mean, Train, for example, you know, if they feel confident on that one, maybe just go for that one.
I'd like to see Train again.
Yeah, so I don't think we're going to see the same maps, obviously, that we saw in the rematch now that we saw the first game. So I think we're going to see one heck of a game.
Absolutely. August, any kind of things to look forward to as you hit the nail on the head?
I'm looking forward to FNX.
Right.
I just want to see the same kind of level that we saw from him yesterday in that match to keep Luminosity in the tournament. Felt like he was getting impact frags every single round, if not 1, 2. Just they often came in pairs with him, and it opened up the round for Luminosity. It allowed them to just keep going. And if FNX can come in and bring that same level here versus Na'Vi, I think Na'Vi are going to have, they're going to have a real tough task on their hands to close down this best of 3. So, that for me is like the player I'm really going to be watching over on Luminosity's side because I think that he had just a massive impact on the game.
Yeah.
Luminosity have proven like time and time again throughout the course of this year, and they've had an amazing just rise throughout this entire year, even going back to like January when they started off as Kabum. So ever since then, these guys have proven that they've been one of the biggest teams that wants to win. They want to get that top-seeded spot, and they've been willing to work and just work for whatever the heck they need to do in order to find that victory. So far, at least among European teams, Na'Vi has probably been their most consistent challenge, so it's going to be a tough one. But I think, again, if they've been able to put in the research and find the issues that showed up yesterday, then they could definitely correct that and win this map coming up here. This match, I should say.
I'm sorry.
What are you laughing at? I'm just looking at you.
It's just Kabum. I mean, they were Kabum in my books the whole time.
Is
I'm
it
such a
Kabum
child.
or Kabum?
I don't think it was Kabum. I don't. That's all I was giggling at. Shit. I'm such a child. Oh my god. Okay.
I didn't even. I just saw
I'm
you.
the one who's supposed to be the idiot.
You're supposed to be that guy.
Like, come on, man.
Oh,
like,
I'm
you're
usually
supposed to
quite
keep
good
us
at
all
that.
on
I swear to God,
I'm
it was
sorry,
Kabum.
Kabum.
But all right.
Kabum.
All right, from now on, Kabum, the Mirage heroes who have risen now to power and got a little brighter. Their hopes most definitely have now under the flag of Luminosity. We're going to take a quick break, guys, and when we come back, we'll be bringing you your second game in this 4-game day. Don't go anywhere.